Dear students and mathematics lovers, please welcome to the YouTube channel Mathematics Students Helper. In the present video, I discuss ideal. This is actually part 2. Part 1 is also available in my channel. Link of that videos is given in description box. Please see that video. This is actually continuation of part 1. However, here I discuss intersection of two ideals and then union of two ideals and at last sum of two ideals, that means linear sum of two ideals. However, I hope that you will understand all of the things. Please see whole video without skipping. If after watching you can understand the video, then please like it and share it with your friends, and of course subscribe my channel if it is not till subscribed. However, before going the main topics intersection, union and linear sum, I remind the previous video, that is part 1. There I give the definition of ideal. What does that? In this case where we consider a subring is of a ring, then it is said to be left ideal if for any two elements, one from the subring and another from the ring, if multiplication of that two elements is in S, then it is called left ideal. Please see on that case here, element of the ring is in left hand side, that's why we say it as left ideal. Okay, when this will be on the right side of it, then in that case it will be called right ideal. A right ideal of R if for any two elements, one from subring and another from ring, A dot R in S. Okay, here please see that R is in the right side. Okay, if both of the conditions are satisfied, then the ideal is called both sided ideal or simply an ideal. Okay, here are both of the conditions. Here A belongs to S and R belongs to S, and R dot A and A dot R both are elements in S. Okay, then I give a theorem which says that a non-empty set S subset S of a ring R plus dot is an ideal of R if and only first condition is S plus is a subgroup of R plus, and second condition was, this is the condition for ideal, A belongs to S, R belongs to R, implies that R dot A and A dot R. Okay, I proved it in previous video, and in the previous video I also said that there are another theorem which is very useful. Here first condition is replaced by that condition. Which is that condition? This is actually the condition for subgroup S plus of a group R plus. A composed B inverse, that means here A composition is plus, that means addition, and B inverse means minus B. Okay, so I replace the first condition by that condition, and second condition remains unchanged. This theorem is very useful to check whether a non-empty subset of a ring R is ideal or not. If both of the two conditions are satisfied for a non-empty set of a ring R, then that non-empty set S will be an ideal. Okay, so please remember that two condition. I will use that two condition in every theorem, that means in intersection union. Okay, however, at first we will go in intersection of two ideal. The theorem states that intersection of two ideals of a ring is also an ideal of that ring. That means we have to take two ideal. Okay, suppose R plus dot B and ring and S and T be two ideals, so we have to prove that S intersection T is also an ideal of R. So at first we have to show that S intersection T is a non-empty subset of R. For that purpose, we consider here 0 belongs to S, 0 belongs to T, because you know that since S and T are ideal, so S and T are both subring of S, that's why S plus and T plus are both commutative group. Here 0 is the additive identity in the ring. This is called 0 element. So 0 is an element of S as well as 0 is an element of T. Now we can write 0 as 0 plus 0. sorry, here S is in S, sorry, 0 is in S and also in T. So 0 is a common element of S and T, that means 0 belongs to S union intersection T. 0 belong to S intersection T. So S intersection T is a non-empty subset of the ring R. Now we have to show that it is ideal, so we have to check two conditions. For first condition, we have to consider two elements A, B in intersection T. Then we have to show that A minus B is also an element of S intersection T. Now A belongs to S intersection T as well as B belongs to S intersection T. That is, AB are in elements of S as well as these are two elements of T. See that here S is an ideal, so from the first condition A minus B must be an element of S. Since S is an ideal of R, A, B belongs to S implies that A minus B belongs to S. And similarly, since T is a ideal and A, B belongs to T, so A minus B must be an element of T. So here A minus B belong to S as well as belong to T. That means A minus B is a common element of S and T. That's why we can say that A minus B is an element of S intersection T. Thus you see that here we consider two elements A, B from S intersection T. These are two arbitrary elements from S intersection T, and here A minus B is an element of S intersection T. This is actually first condition for ideal. Okay, now we have to check second condition. For the second condition, we have to take two elements, one from ring and another from subring. That means non-empty set. Actually here we don't consider S intersection T as a subring because here I use two conditions which is implied which is applied on a non-empty set. For that purpose here we consider S intersection T is a non-empty subset. Here you can see that this shows that S intersection T is a non-empty subset. Here we cannot consider S intersection T is a subring, but also it is a subring because we know that intersection of two subrings also two subrings. Here S intersection T is a subring, but we don't consider that case. Here we consider S intersection T as a non-empty subset of the ring R. Okay, so here we consider A from the non-empty set and R from the ring. Now we have to calculate A dot R and R dot A for the second condition. Okay, now A belongs to S intersection T means A belongs to S as well as A in element of T. Now see that here given that S is ideal because we consider S and T as two ideal. So here R is an element of R and A is an element of S. Since S is an ideal and R belongs to R and A belongs to S, so we can conclude that R dot A and A dot R both are elements of T. Okay, R dot A and A dot R both are the element of T. Sorry, element of S because here S is an ideal. Similarly, since T is an ideal and A is an element of T and R is an element of the ring, so similar conclusion can be done for the ideal T. So since T is an ideal of R, small r is in R and small a is in T, so we can conclude that R dot A and A dot R both are element of T. If you see from that two lines, here R dot A is in S as well as in T. So R dot A is a common element of S and T, that means R dot A is an element of S intersection T. Similarly, A dot R belong to both S and T, so A dot R also be an element of S intersection T. So here we see that for arbitrary elements R from ring and A from S intersection D, their multiplication, that means R dot A and A dot R are two elements of S intersection T. Okay, thus this is actually the second condition for subring. We get that from that two relation. So we see that here S intersection T is a non-empty subset of the ring R. Number one, that means the first condition, for any two elements A, B in S intersection T, A minus B belongs to S intersection T. This is the first condition for ideal. And for any two elements R and A, here R is capital R, that means R is from the ring and A from the non-empty subset of R. We see that R dot A and A dot R both are in S intersection T. So this is the second condition for ideal. This is the first condition for ideal, and S intersection T is a non-empty subset. So combining all of the three conditions, we can conclude that S intersection T is an ideal of the ring R. Okay, I hope that you can understand that theorem. Now we will go in the union of two ideals. Now our question is, either union of two ideals is always a ideal or not. Actually, union of two ideals of a ring may not an ideal of the ring. So you have to give an example. Here you consider the ring Z plus dot, ring of integers, and two ideals 2Z plus dot and 3Z plus dot are two ideals of Z plus dot. I actually proved it in previous video, that means in part 1. There I proved that mz plus dot, that means multiple of m integers which are multiple of m, forms an ideal of a ring Z plus dot. Okay, here I consider that two ideals, but we will show that 2Z union 3Z is not an ideal of Z. Why? Please see that. At first, 3 is an element of 3Z because 3 is multiple of 3. Since 3 is in 3Z, so 3 is an element of 2Z union 3Z. Okay. Again, 2 belongs to 2Z. Why? 2 is multiple of 2. That's why 2 is an element of 2Z union 3Z. Here you see that 3 and 2 both are elements of 2Z union 3Z. If 2Z union 3Z is an ideal, then A minus B, that means 3 minus 2 must be an element of 2Z union 3Z. Repeat this. If 2Z union 3Z is an ideal, then for any two elements in 2Z union 3Z, for any two elements AB in 2Z and 3Z, A minus B must be an element of 2Z union 3Z. Here we consider A as 3 and B as 2. If you calculate A minus B, that means 3 minus 2. This is actually 1. This is neither multiple of 3 nor multiple of 2. That's why 1 does not belong to 3Z as well as does not belong to 2Z. Hence 1 does not belong to 2Z union 3Z. Okay. So 2Z union 3Z is not an ideal. Okay, this is the example that union of two ideals is not always an ideal of that ring. Now I give the generalization of union of two ideals, which says that let S and T be two ideals of a ring R, then S union T is an ideal of R if and only if either S is a subset of T or T is a subset of S. That means union will be a ideal if one of the ideal is a subset of another. Otherwise, it cannot be happened. Now I have to prove that theorem. At this is if and only part, that is converse part. It has converse part also. In one part we have to choose S union T as an ideal, then we have to prove that condition. And another side we have to take S and T be two ideals in satisfying that conditions. That is, these are two ideals such that one is a subset of another. That we have to prove that S union T is ideal. Actually this part is obvious. At first I proved this part. Okay. Let us consider S and T be two ideals of the ring R such that either S is a subset of T or T is a subset of S. If S is a subset of T, then what will be S union T? Then S union T will be T, because we know that if you consider union of two sets such that one is a subset of another, the result will be the superset. Okay. If S is a subset of T, then S union T will be the T. which is an ideal given here. Okay. Again, if T is a subset, then S union T will be the S, which is also an ideal of R. Hence, in both of the cases, S union T is ideal. Okay. Hence, in that case, in each case, the S union T is an ideal. Hence, the theorem is proved. This is the first part. Converse part. In converse part, we consider S and T be to S ideal of a ring R in such a way that their union is an ideal. Conversely, let us take S and T be two ideals of the ring R in such a way that S union T is an ideal. We have to prove that either S is a subset of T or T is a subset of S. Now, S is subset of T is equivalent to S minus T is phi, and T minus S, T subset of S is equivalent to T minus S equal to phi. Why? Please see the diagram. Here A is a set and suppose B is a subset of A. Now what will be B minus A? Actually B minus A means the elements which are in B but not in A, which are in B but not in A. But this is not possible. Why? Because according to the definition of subset, all the elements of B are also elements of A. Okay. So we can't find any element from B which does not belongs to A. We can't find any element from B which does not belong to A. So I write here does not exist any element in B such that X does not belongs to A. That's why B minus A is empty. Okay. These are the vice versa. That means if B subset of A, then B minus A equal to phi, and if B minus A equal to phi, then B subset of A. So this is equivalent to that. Now we have to prove that two conditions. Now we prove that theorem by contradiction. So we have to take opposite of that. That is, if possible, let both of S minus T and T minus S are non-empty. This is the opposite of that portion, and after some calculation, some process, we will see that this contradicts. Okay, let's go. Since this is non-empty, so we can consider an element. Suppose alpha be an element in S minus T and beta is an element from T minus S. Now since alpha belongs to S minus T, so alpha is an element of S but alpha does not belongs to T, and since beta belongs to T minus S, so beta belongs to T but beta does not belongs to S. Now alpha belongs to S implies that alpha belongs to S union T. Alpha belongs to S implies that alpha belongs to S union T, and here beta belongs to T implies that beta belongs to S union T. So we get that result: alpha is an element of S but alpha does not belong to T, and beta is an element of T but beta does not belong to S, and alpha belongs to S implies that alpha belongs to S union T, and beta belongs to T implies that beta belongs to S union T. Now here S union T is an ideal and alpha and beta are two elements of S union T. So from the first condition of ideal, which from the theorem which is discussed after the definition of ideal in the video. Okay, so from the second condition we can conclude that alpha minus beta is an element of S union T. I write down it. Since alpha beta are two elements of S union T, so alpha minus beta belongs to S union T. Why? Because S union T is an ideal of the ring R. Now alpha minus beta belongs to S union T implies that either alpha minus beta belongs to S or alpha minus beta belongs to T. Now if alpha minus beta belongs to S, then that condition and that condition, that means alpha belongs to S and alpha minus beta belongs to S, we get here S is an ideal and alpha minus beta and alpha are two elements of S. So we know that since it is a ideal, if you take this is A and this is as B, so A minus B must be an element of S. A minus B. From the first condition of ideal, we can conclude that that belongs to S. But if you calculate this, this will be beta. That means beta belongs to S. But it is a contradiction, because here we see that beta does not belong to S. So it is a contradiction. Again, if we take alpha minus beta belongs to S, then alpha minus beta belongs to S and beta belongs to T. Sorry, if we take alpha minus beta as an element of T, then that condition and beta belongs to T both implies that here T is an ideal. So I write down, since T is an ideal and alpha minus beta belongs to T and beta belongs to T, then here we consider actually sum of that two elements. That means beta plus alpha minus beta belongs to T. Why? Since T is an ideal, ideal means it is a subring. Subring means T is a commutative group with respect to addition. That means T is closed under addition. That means for any two element from T, their addition must be an element of T. That means beta and alpha minus beta, if you take addition of that two elements, beta and alpha minus beta, then this will be also an element of T. If you simplify that, this will be alpha. Alpha belongs to T. This is a contradiction, because you see that alpha does not belong to T. So contradiction arises both of the cases. So our assumption was wrong. Okay, our assumption was both of S minus T and T minus S are non-empty. So the correct option is either alpha minus beta, either S minus T or T minus S empty. That is, either S is subset of T or T is subset of S. Hence the theorem is proved. Okay, I hope that you understand that theorem also. Now I just give the whole proof of the theorem in one page. Here I say quickly, so that here theorem states that if S and T two ideals of A are, then S union T is an ideal if and only if S, either S is a subset of T or T is a subset of S. In first part, we consider S and T be two ideals of the ring such that either S is a subset of T or T is a subset of S. If S is a subset of T, then S union T will be T, which is an ideal. Again, if T is a subset of S, then S union T is S, which is also an ideal. So in each case, the theorem is proved. Okay, in each case, S union T is an ideal. Here S union T is T, which is ideal. Here S union T is S, which is also an ideal. Okay. Now conversely, we have to consider S and T be two ideals in such a way that S union T is an ideal, and then we have to prove that either S is subset of T or T is subset of S. So conversely, let S and T be two ideals of the ring R such that S union T is an ideal of R. Now we have to prove that either S is subset of T or T is subset of S. That means S is subset of T means S minus T equal to phi, and T is subset of S means T minus S equal to phi. So we prove it by contradiction. For that purpose, if possible, let both of S minus T and T minus S are non-empty, and we consider alpha from S minus T and beta from T minus A. Okay, let alpha belongs to S minus T and beta belongs to T minus S. So here alpha belongs to S, but alpha does not belong to T, and beta belongs to T, but beta does not belong to S. Now alpha belongs to S implies that alpha belongs to S union T, and beta belongs to T implies that beta belongs to S union T. So since here S union T is an ideal and alpha and beta are two elements of S union T, so we conclude that alpha minus beta is an element of T because S union T is an ideal. Now alpha minus beta belong to S union T implies that either alpha minus beta belongs to S or alpha minus beta belongs to T. Now if alpha minus beta belongs to S, then alpha minus beta belongs to S and alpha belongs to S. Here alpha belongs to S and alpha minus beta belongs to S together implies that here since S is an ideal, So here alpha minus beta and alpha two elements in S. So we have alpha minus of alpha minus beta, that is from the first condition of ideal we can conclude that alpha minus beta, that is beta, belongs to S, which is a contradiction because here beta does not belong to S. This is okay. Again, if we consider alpha minus beta from T, then since T is an ideal and is alpha minus beta in T and beta belongs to T, both implies that beta plus alpha minus beta, that is alpha belongs to T, which is a contradiction also. So our assumption was wrong. These are the assumption. So the correct assumption was these. That means either S minus T is equal to phi or T minus S equal to phi. This is equivalent to either S is subset of T or T is subset of S. Hence the theorem is proved. This is the complete proof of the theorem. That means union of two ideals S and T will be also an ideal if and only either of one of them is a subset of another. Okay. Now we will go in the sum of two ideals. Theorem: let S and T be two ideals of a ring R, then S plus T is an ideal where S plus T is that. What is S plus T? The elements of S plus T are in that form where first term from capital S and second term from capital T. Okay. So if you take two elements, one from S and another from T, then S plus T will then the collection of elements in the form S plus T is called linear sum of S and T, and this is denoted by S plus T. Okay. So now we will prove S plus T is an ideal of R also. So here we also use that theorem. There are two conditions. In first condition you have to take two elements AB from S union T, then you have to show that A minus B belongs to S plus T. So you have to take two elements AB from S plus T, and then you have to show that A minus B belongs to S plus T. And for the second condition you have to choose one element from the ring. Suppose R, small r is an element of R, and suppose A is an element of S plus T. Then you have to calculate R dot A and A dot R both, and then you have to show that R dot A and A dot R both belong to S plus T. Then both of the conditions for ideal will be satisfied, and hence you can conclude that S plus T is also an ideal of the ring R. Okay. So before that condition we have to also show that S plus T is a non-empty subset of ring. Here R plus dot is a ring and S to be two ideals of R. Now 0 is an element of S and T, because in same as previous theorem we say that 0 is a 0 element, that means additive identity of S and T. Now 0 can be written in that form, 0 equal to 0 plus 0. Here we consider this 0 from capital S and this 0 from capital T. Actually both of the zeros are same. These are the 0 element in R. However, that 0 element is an element of S plus T. That's why we conclude that S plus T is a non-empty subset of R. Actually S plus T automatically subset. Now here we will show that 0 belongs to S plus T. 0 means 0 element. So here S plus T is non-empty. Now we will check the first condition. For that purpose we consider A be two arbitrary element of A plus B. Since A belongs to A plus T, then A will be in that form, that is sum of two elements, first element from capital S and second element will be from capital T. So ES is equal A equal to S1 plus T1, and B is also in that form, that means B equal to S2 plus T2. Here S1 S2 are two elements of capital S and T1 T2 from capital T. Now we have to check A minus B. Now A minus B equal to that. Here this is A and this is B, A B. If you use commutative property, because it is commutative with respect to addition, because ring is commutative with respect to addition, so you have to commute S2 and T1. And Okay, and you have to also use associative property. Then after using that two properties, we can write this is in that form S1 minus S2 plus T1 minus T2. This is also element S plus T, because here S is an ideal given that, and S1 S2 are two elements of S. So from the first condition of ideal, S1 minus S2 is an element of S. Since S and T are ideals and S1 S2 belongs to S, implies that S1 S2 belongs to S. And similarly, since T is an ideal and T1 T2 are two elements of capital T, so T1 minus T2 must be an element of T. Okay, so that's why we see that S1 minus S2 is an element of S. That is two terms in the addition. First term is from S, and second term, that is T1 minus T2, it is from T. As a result, A minus B can be written as some addition of two elements, first element from S and second element from T. As a result, we can conclude that A minus B is an element of S plus T. So for any two elements A, B in S plus T, we see that A minus B is an element of S plus T. This is actually first condition for ideal, which is satisfied. Now we have to check the second condition. For that purpose, we consider two elements, one from ring and another from S plus T. Since A is an element of S plus T, then A will be in that form. That means A equal to S1 plus T1 for some S1 in capital S and T1 from capital T. Now you have to check A dot R and R dot A. At first we check R dot A. R dot A means here R, this is A is S1 plus T1. Then if you use distributive property, distribution of multiplication of over addition, then this will be R dot S1 plus R dot T1. This is actually element of S, because S is an ideal and S1 is an element of capital S, R is an element of R. So R dot S1 must be an element. By similar condition, R dot T1 is also an element of T. Okay, so this is an element of S plus T. And similarly, A dot R, this is also an element of S plus T, because here we use right distribution of multiplication over addition. This will be S1 dot R plus T1 dot R. This is an element of T. This is an element of T. S1 dot R is an element of S and T1 dot R is an element of T. Okay. I give the reason which I said that S and T are ideals and R belongs to R, S1 belongs to S, T1 belongs to T, implies that here R dot S1 dot R belongs to S, and R dot T1 dot R belongs to S, because here S and T are ideals and R is an element of from ring and S1 is an element from subring, that is from the subset, non-empty subset. Here T1 is a element from the non-empty subset, R is from the ring. So from the second condition of ideal, we can conclude that both of R dot S1 dot R is an element of S, that is R dot S1 is element of S, S1 dot R is also an element of S. Okay. However, here we see that R dot A is an element of S dot T, A dot R is also an element of S plus T. Thus for any two elements A and R, A from S plus T, R from R, we see that A dot R and R dot A is an element of S plus T. Now we see whole calculation at a glance. At first we see that S plus T is a non-empty subset of the ring. Then we see that for any two elements A, B from S plus T, A minus B is also an element of S plus T. That's why first condition for ideal is satisfied. And we see that R dot A and A dot R is an element of S plus T for all elements R in R and all A in S plus T. That means second condition for ideal is satisfied. As a result, you can conclude that S plus T is an ideal of R. Okay. Okay, so sum of two ideals is also an ideal of that sum ring. I hope that you will understand the next video also. Please see the next video, that means part 3, which is given in description box. If you have any query for that video, that is for part 2, that means intersection, union and ideal, you can comment or you can mail me, mail ID given in description box. Anyway, please see the part 3 and also see the part 1 and the many other parts regarding ideals. Then you will get a clear concepts about ideal. However, I hope that you understand, and thank you for watching whole the video. Have a good day.